Well, good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to call this hearing to order. Though air pollution can be a complex topic, as we all know, the goal of this hearing is pretty simple, and it's to examine the role that low-cost air quality sensors can play in helping us collect more data about the quality of our air so that we can do a better job of protecting public health and engaging communities in those responses. That's really what we're up to. And today we will discuss how new air quality sensor technology is making it possible for state and local air quality agencies to work with businesses and with their communities. In particular, we're going to hear about how low-cost sensor technology is supplementing existing data gathering and how the technologies are evolving, as well as how local regulators are incorporating these sensors into their own work. Low-cost air quality sensors are becoming an important tool in the toolbox of air agencies. But it's important for us to distinguish what their limitations are so that they can be integrated successfully into community-level public health initiatives. As you know, almost anybody can buy one of these sensors. Almost anyone. They cost a couple of $100. The Environmental Protection Agency refers to these low-cost devices as they call them sensors. And they should not be confused with monitors that our states use to regulate air quality under EPA guidance. This distinction between sensors and monitors is important. And so let me just repeat it. Today we're going to be talking about sensors, which are low-cost tools to collect data on specific pollutants. We're not talking about the monitors that states use, our states, my state, other states here, use for regulation under EPA direction. Low-cost air quality sensors are not replacing regulatory monitors. Regulatory monitors are far more sophisticated. They cost tens of thousands of dollars and are the backbone of EPA's ability to regulate air quality across this country of ours. Many of us already have low-cost air quality sensors in our own homes, and carbon monoxide detectors and smoke detectors sniff the air and alert us when a problem is detected. The air quality sensors that we're going to discuss today work pretty much the same way. And as members of this committee have heard me oftentimes say, everything I do, I know I can do better. I think that's true for just about all of us, and it's also true for reducing air pollution. We as a nation can and must do more to address pollutants in our air. Despite our nation's significant strides since passing the Clean Air Act of 1970, air pollution still negatively impacts far too many Americans, especially in low-income communities and including communities of color. The Center for Air, Climate, and Energy Solutions found that people of color are disproportionately exposed to an air pollutant called fine particulate matter, also known to most of us as soot. An exposure to these small but powerful pollutants is linked to lung and heart problems, especially for our kids or people with chronic respiratory diseases. The good news is that low-cost air quality sensors can help detect this kind of pollution, and those sensors are being used appropriately in a growing number of communities. I believe we have a moral obligation to ensure that all Americans, no matter what their zip code might be, are free from the burden of pollution, air pollution in particular. That means equipping communities with tools to improve individual access to information about the quality of their air. Sensors help us do that. Some of you might recall that this committee held a hearing in July of 2022 that discussed the risk of living near or downwind of facilities that emit air pollution. Harmful air pollutants disproportionately affect these so-called frontline communities. But many Americans today do not even know they are being exposed to dangerous levels of air pollution. And that's why sensors are critical, because they sniff the air and detect the pollutants that the human eye or the human nose cannot detect. And this technology is getting better and more affordable by the day. Collecting local air data helps states, it helps tribes, it helps communities find pollution hotspots and identify facilities that may be generating excess pollution. Low-cost sensors also save air agency money by enabling them to direct resources to where the worst pollution is, as I oftentimes say, find out what works and do more of that. Today, we will hear from one of our witnesses about what is working with low-cost air quality sensors in, among other places, Denver, Colorado, one of the best examples of a local air agency working proactively with healthcare organizations, with schools, and with neighborhoods. In other places across our country, cities and local groups are working with their air regulators at the state level. For example, Utah's Department of Environmental Quality is partnering with the University of Utah, as well as with other state and local organizations, to stand up a new air quality sensor program on the west side of the Salt Lake Valley. This program will provide almost instant local air quality information through air maps and through alerts. These sensors complement regulatory monitors. For example, during the wildfires last summer in Delaware, the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control, we call it DNREC, Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control, DNREC. And DNREC used data from 11 regulatory monitors, data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and data from low-cost sensors to track air pollution. Using all three sources, DNREC was able to quickly issue public health advisories for vulnerable residents. In closing, clean air is good for human health. It's good for our economy. It's good for our planet. It's good for all of us. We look forward to a hearing today from our colleagues as they arrive and from our witnesses on the ways in which low-cost air quality sensors can help us reduce air pollution and protect public health. Before I turn to Senator Capito, I want to thank our, not just our witnesses for being here and testifying today and preparing for this hearing. I want to thank our staff for helping to find you and to convince you to come today and to share some thoughts and respond to some of our questions. But we appreciate good staff work that's been done.